So you think you guys got a lot in common? In some aspects, yeah, you do. How are you guys? They're both.
To handle the weight difference, Terence Crawford isn't taking any risks against Canelo Alvarez. Instead of training solo, he's brought in the expertise of the first man to defeat Canelo in the ring. Crawford has kicked off his training camp much earlier than usual to gain weight and get comfortable with it ahead of his September fight. He does plan to take a brief break mid-year. Crawford had invited Floyd Mayweather to his training camp long before this, and the two really enjoyed working together. As expected, Mayweather focused mostly on sharpening Crawford's defense. They practiced footwork, worked on the shoulder roll technique, and added more body feints to Crawford's style. When Mayweather fought Canelo Alvarez, Canelo was just 23, while Floyd was in his mid-30s. Despite the age gap, Mayweather's defense was so solid that Canelo barely landed any punches over 12 rounds. Mayweather feels honored to have trained many top fighters over the years, like Ryan Garcia. His vast fighting knowledge has benefited boxers like Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis. Now, his latest trainee is Terence Crawford, who also shared some thoughts with fans about his time training with Floyd. You might wonder why Terence Crawford, a seasoned pro with 40 fights under his belt, is seeking Mayweather's guidance so close to retirement. The reason is simple. Crawford's next fight marks his debut in the 168-pound weight class. As part of his preparation, Terence Crawford sought guidance from Floyd Mayweather, a 5-division world champion. In a recent interview, Mayweather reflected on his iconic fight against Canelo Alvarez, which took place at a catchweight.
Gave the sport of boxing their whole life and sacrificed a lot inside that square circle. They should feel that way. So if he feels that way, more power to him. I had one fight, and the fight wasn't actually.
I had one fight with Canelo, and it was at a catchweight. But that wasn't my plan, Mayweather recalled. Anyone can look this up, it's well documented. At one point, Canelo thought I was scared of him, claiming I didn't want to fight. So, he said he'd meet me at 152 pounds. I called his bluff and agreed to it. After Canelo made the weight, there wasn't any rule restricting how much he could rehydrate. He weighed in at 152, but probably came into the ring at 168 or even close to 170. Meanwhile, I stayed around 151. Despite the size difference, I still got the job done.
Weight, but it wasn't my idea. So at one particular time, you guys can, anybody, you can go online and pull this up. It was an article. So with Canelo said, I believe Canelo at one particular time thought I was scared of him,
Perhaps this experience resonated with Terence Crawford as he prepares to move up in weight. Knowing he has a lot to learn about the new division, Crawford sought out Mayweather's advice. While boxing fans often compare Crawford to Mayweather, Crawford himself has nothing but respect for the undefeated legend. When asked about their similarities, Bud Crawford was quick to praise Mayweather, acknowledging his greatness and influence on the sport.
To make the adjustments that he's made to certain fighters,
Crawford continued, "We have quite a lot in common in some areas, but we're a little different too. I take more chances in the ring. Earlier in his career, Floyd took a lot of chances as well. It just depends on which version of Floyd Mayweather you're talking about. Are you talking about Money Mayweather or Pretty Boy Floyd? Because Pretty Boy was a seek and destroy kind of fighter. Then he started having hand injuries which affected his power, and as he moved up to fight bigger opponents, his style evolved."
I think, I take more chances,
Excuse me, Crawford.
Right now. But earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So,
Like Crawford said, there are many similarities between the two, but boxing fans and analysts often compare them to determine who's the better fighter. Some sources have even speculated about who would win in a hypothetical matchup. When it comes to pure boxing skill, it's hard to find someone who delivered more masterclasses in the sweet science than Floyd Mayweather.
Whether you talk about, do you talk about money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was what is seek and destroy.
Mayweather's crisp jab, precise timing, and exceptional counterpunching ability allowed him to systematically dismantle his opponents. He showcased these skills across two distinct phases of his career: the aggressive, power-punching Pretty Boy Floyd, and the defensive, tactical genius known as Money Mayweather.
Once again, is a lightning hand speed extraordinary. Oh. Left hook drops him, and then he hit his head off the en masse here at the engine.
Just as Crawford mentioned, Pretty Boy, Floyd was the more aggressive boxer, taking the fight to his opponents, while Money Mayweather, in the later years of his career, relied on brilliant boxing IQ to edge out his rivals with precision and defense. Whichever style you prefer, both phases contributed to the legend that is Floyd Mayweather Jr. Comparatively, boxing fans are still in awe of what Crawford did to Errol Spence in their last fight. The powerful jab he repeatedly snapped through, Spence's guard, landing clean shots even in tight exchanges, and the impeccable timing of his counterpunches showcased supreme boxing ability. While Crawford has always demonstrated elite skills, we'd never seen such dominance against an opponent of Spence's caliber. When it comes to pure boxing ability, arguably no one surpasses Mayweather. However, Crawford's style is different, explosive, versatile, and highly effective. If Crawford were to face Mayweather in his prime, it would be a fascinating clash. Crawford's sharp, laser-like punches against Mayweather's disciplined mastery of the sweet science. Who would land the jab first? Who would be the more successful counterpuncher? There are countless ways this hypothetical fight could unfold, making it fair to say this category might just be a draw. How many times have we seen Mayweather masterfully lure his opponents to the center of the ring, where he would process information like a computer, analyzing patterns, adjusting his strategy, and executing a flawless blueprint? To break his opponents down? Mayweather's exceptional ring IQ, combined with his mantra of hit and not get hit, carried him to the Hall of Fame as an undefeated 5-division world champion. Crawford, having been crowned undisputed champion at both junior welterweight and welterweight, has showcased a similarly high ring IQ throughout his career. While Mayweather possessed lightning-fast hand speed, especially when counterpunching, Crawford's ability to create sharp angles and deliver punches with whip-like speed gives him an edge in offensive explosiveness. When comparing their knockout power, Mayweather's 50 wins include 27 knockouts, while Crawford boasts 40 wins with an impressive 31 knockouts, and he's still active. This highlights Crawford's finishing ability, contrasting with Mayweather's strategic dominance.
That's unbelievable. For young boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you're seeing one of the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong. You're wearing, then he's nowhere. You think you... And again, it's not just...
Now, re-enter Crawford's wizardry over Errol Spence, dropping him 3 times en route to a dominant 9th-round TKO, defeating a power-punching, body-snatching fighter like Spence, who systematically broke down top-tier opponents like Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Yordenis Ugas to become the unified world welterweight champion, was anything but easy. Yet Crawford made it look effortless, with his power playing a significant role. In contrast, Mayweather's defensive brilliance was on full display throughout his career. Pinned in the corner, he'd raise his shoulder into the signature Philly shell defense, absorbing shots with his arm while using his free hand to deliver precise counterpunches. It was defensive boxing turned counterpunching at its absolute best, a masterclass in minimizing damage while maximizing effectiveness.
The head, the way he rolled with punches. Look at the way he makes them miss. I mean, here we go. Do a series of punches and nothing really landed. Rip it by for Mayweather. Oh, hey!
Crawford possesses solid defensive skills as well, but Mayweather elevated defensive boxing to near perfection. This raises the question, How would a clash between Crawford and a prime Mayweather actually play out, and who would emerge victorious? After a tense opening round, where both fighters cautiously feel each other out, Crawford would likely be the more active and aggressive fighter early on. He'd launch sharp combinations, landing some shots even though many would be absorbed by Mayweather's shoulder rolls and slick defensive maneuvers. However, as the fight progresses into the middle rounds, Mayweather's style would begin to take control. His ability to read opponents would allow him to time Crawford's attacks perfectly, peppering him with precise jabs and scoring points through masterful counterpunching. While Crawford's pressure and versatility would keep things competitive, Mayweather's ring IQ and defensive genius could tilt the fight in his favor. With constant pressure, Crawford's power could trouble Mayweather, even hurting the legend at times. Judges might favor Crawford based on his aggressive approach and higher volume of punches, potentially leading him to a points victory over Mayweather's technical style. Moving up in weight isn't as easy as it seems. Crawford is determined not to repeat the mistakes Canelo Alvarez made when he faced Dimitri Bivol. Canelo's ambition backfired as he landed a career-low 80 punches over 12 rounds. Bivol's defense and accurate punching led to a unanimous decision win, 115-113 on all scorecards. Canelo admitted, "Today I lost, and he won. He's a great boxer." To avoid such an outcome, Crawford has sought advice from Mayweather, hoping to learn from Canelo's defeat. Ryan Garcia, during a podcast with Patrick Bet David, discussed his friendship with Floyd Mayweather. When asked which GOAT, greatest of all time, he allows to give him raw, unfiltered criticism, Garcia immediately named Mayweather, showing his deep respect for the boxing legend. Garcia also shared his thoughts on the potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, acknowledging it as one of the most exciting matchups in boxing today. Interview 17. Dimitri Bivol reflected on the significance of respecting weight classes, saying, "When I started boxing, one of the first things I learned was to respect weight divisions." Despite this, Bivol praised Crawford's skills, stating that Crawford's high boxing IQ could give him an edge against Canelo. When asked if Crawford could beat Canelo, Bivol responded, "I can imagine it happening. Crawford is one of the best boxers in the world right now." Bivol's remarks highlight his admiration for Crawford's abilities, even though Crawford would be facing a naturally bigger opponent in Canelo.
Someone told me to study Canelo, study Crawford. Crawford about to beat the shit out of Canelo Alvarez. I'm letting y'all know right now, he about to beat the brakes off of Canelo Alvarez.
After winning the undisputed super middleweight title in 2021, he came up short in a fight against the World Boxing Association light heavyweight champion, Dimitri Bivol. However, the 34-year-old has since bounced back with 5 wins in a row, beating top fighters like Gennady Golovkin, Jermall Charlo, and Edgar Berlanga. Legendary boxing trainer turned analyst Teddy Atlas shared his thoughts with Fight Hub TV on a possible mega fight between the two stars. Atlas expressed that it would be tough for him to bet against the American southpaw, saying, "Very few people are willing to challenge themselves the way Crawford does. I'll never go against that guy. Father Time may catch up with him, but I'm not sure a weight class can. It's a huge challenge because Canelo is a fantastic fighter, bigger, stronger, and a powerful puncher who can time you. But even though Crawford is smaller, he'll come up with a game plan that forces Canelo to use his size." In an interview with Fight Hub TV, McIntyre gave high praise to the undefeated Crawford, who may be fighting Canelo either in May or September. McIntyre believes Crawford has everything needed to claim a third undisputed title in a new weight class. "Any serious boxing fan knows Crawford can beat Canelo. You need to know fighting to say that," said McIntyre. If Crawford and Canelo were to fight, it could take place on either May 3rd or May 10th, dates that are close to Cinco de Mayo, a key moment in boxing. However, Canelo might be waiting to see the outcome of the February 22nd fight between light heavyweights Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol. Better BF won their first fight last year. That's all for now. For the best boxing updates, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications to catch the latest content, like this. Until next time, peace out.